Hi, welcome back to Read Aloud with Mr. Fischer. Today I'll be reading The Way a Door Closes by Anita Smith. This has illustrations by Shane W. Evans, and before I get started, I'd like to read what Booklist said about it. A series of clear, lovely poems tells a contemporary family story, and Evans' strong, realistic paintings show the deep feelings and connections in an African-American home. Readers will be deeply moved by the portrait of a rooted, extended family that makes it through hard times. So as you heard, this is a collection of poems, but it also tells a story. You also may have noticed that this is a little bit of a longer video, so feel free to pause it at times if you'd like, and continue it at a later time. I hope you enjoy. The Way a Door Closes, Anita Smith, with illustrations by Shane W. Evans, a Coretta Scott King and John Steptoe New Talent Award winner. Golden. There's a moment right before morning that is silent and still. Grandmama says it's a blessing to experience. I hug my pillow and try to hold on to this moment. And then the day begins. Daddy's razor roars. The scent of Mama's cookin' floats down the hall to me till it tickles my nose. I feel the vibration as my little brother slap bounces a ball to breakfast. I open my eyes to see my sister staring back at me, secretly believing that she has willed me awake, and I hear Grandmama's voice singing a song of praise for this new day. My family is up, just like the sun, and we are all golden. Legacy. My brother and I love to watch our daddy shave. He sings as his razor mows away his beard, and we ask, "When, Daddy? When can we shave like you?" And Daddy says, "When you're older." He rubs my brother's smooth brown cheeks and says, "You've got a ways to go, my man." And my brother pouts at the thought of how long he has to wait. And then Daddy turns to me and says, "CJ, on the other hand, it's almost time. You almost a man." I look in the mirror at my daddy's face and try to imagine the man I am going to be. History lessons. Grandmama says she is a hard woman because she has led a hard life. So many obstacles blocking her way when all she wanted to do was be. Signs made her drink from a different fountain, sit at the back of the bus. Laws said she couldn't go to certain schools. People said she couldn't learn. They tried to move her around to their way of thinking. But now, she says, she knows the truth. She says she is bent, but she is not broken. She says if she isn't careful, she's going to mess around and get her second doctorate. And then she smiles and loves me. Hard. She is a rock, and I shall not be moved. Interrogator Mama. On Sunday afternoons, it's just the guys. Daddy takes my brother and me places that are too rugged for women, too grown up for girls, too adventurous for old people. For Grandmama. My sister wants to come, but pouting and pleading won't make it happen. It's just the guys, and we've got to be on our way. On your way where? Mama asks, trying to sound as if she doesn't really want to know. Never you mind, Daddy says, kissing her on the lips and my teary-eyed sister on the forehead. Mama says, I know 2 little boys who won't be going anywhere if they don't give their mama a hug and a kiss. And then Daddy is yelling, "Run, men! Run like the wind!" My brother and I run out of the house. We have no power against Interrogator Mama. We have sold out for hugs and kisses before. The whole world in his hands. I'm looking at a photograph of my family. We are all smiling, like someone has just told us a good joke. My mama sits stately in a regal-looking chair. My grandmama stands behind her because she's not that old. My brother and sister are seated at Mama's feet. I am standing next to Grandmama, my hands laced together in front of me in plain view, because Grandmama doesn't want anyone to think that I am there to hold her up. And then there is my daddy. He stands behind us, towering over us all. One hand rests on my shoulder, the other caresses my mother's. Back straight and chest out, my daddy is proud. We are his world, and he's got the whole world in his hands. Twice blessed. In her heyday, my grandmama was a knockout. Daddy says she was so pretty she stopped traffic. She was a stone fox. Truth be told, your grandmama was beautiful. Still is. Grandmama's eyes light up. She says, "Beauty is as beauty does, and I did all right." We laugh, and then Grandmama plops back down into now and says, "That was a long time ago. I had my chance at beautiful. Everybody does. But nothing lasts forever. I got a little arthritis, varicose veins, and strands of gray hair can vouch for that." I look at my grandmama's face and grin from ear to ear. I kiss her on the cheek and say, "Well, then you lucked out, 'cause the way I see you, that stuff fixed it so you could be beautiful all over again." Audition. Sunday mornings at our house are full of music. Grandmama is singing. She says she's auditioning for the heavenly choir. The music of her voice gets us up and dressed, gets us fed and out the door. Grandmama is singing. Her voice is as rich as cream, sure as tomorrow. I close my eyes and try not to let her see how her song moves me. Let her keep practicing. She is music, and I never want her song to end. Diamond in the rough. Daddy has always spoken loud of being black and being proud, of honest pay for a job well done, a father's dream for his oldest son. He gives me words, each one a gem, words I wish someone had given him. Close your eyes. Scary movies don't scare me. I only see what I want to see. And when I get to the scary part, I don't hold my breath or stop my heart. I close my eyes. Grandmama did the same when telling of some wretched name that she was called when she was 10, a word she heard again and again. She closed her eyes. Now Daddy's job has let him go, and he doesn't want his pain to show. But I can feel what he's not saying, and I stand there, silent, praying. Daddy, close your eyes. Good white things. Snow is falling silently. Little parachutes float down to earth, gently hitting the ground. I tilt my head back and make my face a safe place to land. And for a while, I forget about Daddy losing his job and Mama working too hard, taking care of someone else's children and not us. Because this snow makes me laugh as it tickles down my neck. And I smile because Daddy was wrong. There are good white things. The dance. There is music coming from the living room, and I know that Mama and Daddy are dancing their troubles away. I tiptoe down the hall and peek around the corner. Daddy has one hand resting on the small of Mama's back while his other hand holds her to his chest. Mama looks up at him and smiles. Daddy takes a step back, does some fancy footwork, and then he is dipping Mama, just like Fred Astaire dips Ginger Rogers in those old black and white movies Grandmama loves to watch. When Daddy brings Mama up, he and Mama laugh and hug each other, and then they are standing still, and Daddy's shoulders are shaking. He is holding on to Mama tight. Mama cradles his head in her hands and shushes him. The music is still playing, and they stand there, Mama swaying back and forth like a mother rocking her baby. Job hunt. Each day brings nothing, but I just keep on praying. God, give Dad a job. The way a door closes. When Grandmama comes through a door, it closes quietly. It is whispered shut by the breath of God, who acts as a doorman for one of his good and faithful servants. When my brother and I go out the door, it closes like a clap of thunder. We are always in a hurry to be somewhere. My little sister closes the door just so, as if there were a prize for getting it right. My mama likes doors open. It's her way of inviting the world in. But last night, Daddy said, "I'm going out," and he stood buttoning his coat just so, as if there was a prize for getting it right. Then he looked at each of us, a moment too long, and when he went out the door, he held on to the knob. The door closed with a click. I felt all the air leave the room, and we were vacuum sealed inside. I shook it off. I told myself it was nothing, but somewhere deep inside I knew better. I can tell a lot by the way a door closes. Geography lesson. Lately, my sister has become obsessed with a story about a kid whose house and life get all messed up because of a tornado. It's her favorite, and she's got a pair of ruby slippers to prove it. So every night I read about witches, good and wicked, flying monkeys, and a wizard until she falls asleep. It takes a while, but finally we get to the end, and the kid in the book wakes up and realizes it was all a dream. And I realize my sister is crying, and I can't figure out why. She looks at me through her tears and says, "We aren't in Kansas anymore." Not today. As soon as I walk through the door, I know that Daddy is still gone. I kiss Mama on the cheek and taste the salt from her tears. I swallow the lump in my throat over and over again. She looks me in the eye, and I see an invitation. She is inviting me to join her for a good cry, but instead, I put my arm around her and tell her not to worry. I will take care of her. I will take care of all of us. I say I can get a job after school. I say I could even take a break from school until we get things squared away. I say I'm not a little kid anymore. She can depend on me. And then Mama is wailing, "No!" And she grabs me and slaps me hard across the face, and the sting brings tears instantly. Mama looks relieved. I hold my cheek and say, "Why, Mama? Why?" And she hugs me hard, and through our tears, I hear her say, "Time enough for you to be a man tomorrow, but not today." And one to grow on. Today, I turned 13, and there are 14 holes in my cake where the candles used to be, one for each year and one to grow on. Mama wants to know what happened to them, and I tell her I did it. I took them out and threw them away, one for each year and one to grow on. I don't need candles on my cake. I don't want to close my eyes and make a wish. I'm 13 now, and I know how much it hurts when wishes don't come true. The pull of the moon. Once a month the moon is full. Grandmama says there is an invisible thread connecting each of us to it. She says sometimes she can almost feel the moon pulling on that thread. She says sometimes it's so strong folks can't help but put on their traveling shoes. I wonder if that's what made Daddy leave, if he felt the pull of the moon. Grandmama says once in a while we get another full moon in the same month, a blue moon, a second chance. Moons, Grandmama says, are one of God's little gifts to help us find our way home. Photo op. Every photo album we own is open and sprawled all over my bed. "What are you looking for?" my sister asks. "I can help you find it." She's looked through these albums 1,000 times, and although she's not in every picture, she knows that every picture is of someone who is connected to her. I let her stay, but I know she can't help, because I'm not looking for a person. I'm looking at pictures of Daddy. I stare into each picture hard, trying to read the face of my father, trying to see if there is a sign saying one day he will leave us. Little man. My brother is pounding on the door. Rap, rap, rap. Let me in. Both sounds working together in two-part harmony. I am trying not to hear him. I lie on my bed, with my fingers laced behind my head, and I smile big, because it feels good to be alone. And even though I can't hear the silence, when I close my eyes, I can almost see it. And then I hear the volcano that is my mama's voice erupt as she calls my name. "Cameron James!" And I know that my solitude is over. I open the door quickly. Mama's eyes ask me if I've lost my mind. My brother's face is tear-stained and shows he has been betrayed by his hero. Grandmama pretends to take no notice of the situation. No one says a word. This is not the silence I had in mind. So I say, "Sometimes a man needs a little privacy." Grandmama clears her throat and says, "I reckon that's true. Sometimes a man does need a little privacy." She can't hold back a laugh when she adds, "Now you let your brother back in that room, because I know for a fact we could fit the whole Tabernacle Choir in there and you'd still have enough privacy for the amount of man you are." The power of one. My grandmama's hands hold my hands and me, but mostly they hold everything together. Going, going, gone. Mama is crying again. In the background I hear Grandmama singing a hymn, and it becomes my plea. "Oh Mary, don't you weep." Suddenly I want answers to questions I've been too scared to ask. I follow the sound of Grandmama's voice and find her rocking. Eyes closed but turned toward heaven. "Grandmama, Daddy's not coming back, is he?" She stops her song, but she keeps on rocking. I'm afraid of her answer, so I keep talking. "We're supposed to be a family. He should have stayed. Now all my friends are going to know that Daddy left us, just like Preacher's dad left him, just like Niecy's dad left her, just like them, my dad left me. Grandmama smiles and says, "There are a lot of ways of leaving. Your daddy left a while ago. Now, he's just gone." Grandmama's China Bowl. Grandmama's China Bowl sits with its hands cupped but open, always begging for more. More mints, more nuts, more of whatever is being offered. And with each offering it extends an invitation to hands, never fearing empty or gone. Telling tales. The teacher said, "Just for fun, everyone make up a story using your wildest imagination." I chewed on my eraser for a long time before I started to write about a boy just my age, who wore pants that covered his ankles and shoes that didn't hurt his feet. He lived in a 3-bedroom apartment with his mom and dad, and the heat worked, and the water ran clear, and when he heard loud popping sounds at night, he knew that it must be the 4th of July. Oh yeah, and he lived happily ever after. Tell me something I don't know. I am sitting across from my guidance counselor and I can hear what he's saying, but I'm not listening. Your teachers tell me you're not quite yourself. I understand there's a problem at home. These things happen. You'll feel better if you talk about it. I'm trying to figure out why I'm here. My grades haven't dropped. I haven't cut any classes. This is a courtesy call. Guidance counselor damage control. I don't need this. I'm almost out the door when I feel 2 hands drop anchor on my shoulders. My guidance counselor, locking in on my eyes for emphasis, says, "It's important that you understand this is not your fault." I shrug my shoulders free and wait a beat before leaving. I think to myself, not my fault. I know that. I'm just having a bad day. I'm not stupid. Dream. Daddy is leaving. My mama falls to her knees, clings to him, crying hysterically, "Don't go! Don't leave me!" And then, we, each in our turn, grab on. Me to my mother, my brother to me, our sister to him, a human chain. The door opens, and then Daddy is outside. He is lifted into the air. We hang on. Suddenly, Daddy is flying, just like a kite, and we are the tail. Our holding on is the thing that lets him soar. When a daddy goes. Sister cries while she is sleeping, as if her eyes were leaking. Seems that our whole house is weeping when a daddy goes. Brother's acting like a stranger. Eyes and words are full of anger. Warning signs, they all spell danger when a daddy goes. Mama's hands are always praying, listening for what God's saying, holding tight for fear of straying when a daddy goes. Grandmama's voice is raised in singing. To God's promises she's clinging, all the joys that he is bringing when a daddy goes. Me, I stare up at the ceiling, think on all the things I'm feeling. Seems as if my head is reeling when a daddy goes. It's not so much about his leaving, it's that he left a family grieving. Oh, what a tangled web he's weaving when a daddy goes. Family fire. The secret of my father's leaving spreads like wildfire, burning out of control before I can escape. My friends are keeping their distance. They can't help me. They can only hope the fire is self-contained. They can only pray I'm not too badly burned. I try not to add fuel to the fire, keep all flammable words and feelings to myself. Everyone's eyes are on me. There's something about watching a fire. Now, I am the poster child for families with problems. Fathers, everywhere, will see my face plastered onto signs, and my slogan is, family fires, only you can prevent them. Schoolyard sermon. My best friend preacher is being just that. His sermon today is on fathers, and I am his congregation. Dads are light. They have no roots. One strong wind and they're gone, out of here, history, and just like yesterday, they don't come back. I am quiet. You don't have to say amen, preacher says. It's the truth anyhow. I listen, but I can't say amen. Preacher is wrong. My dad is coming back, I announce. Preacher shoos my words away with a wave of his hands. Man, he says, that only happens once in a blue moon. I smile as I head to my next class, and I say, more to myself than preacher, But it happens. Winter words. It is cold outside, but I am hot. I am so hot I could melt snow. Mama is going out again. Out where? I ask, trying to sound as if I don't really want to know. Never you mind, she says with a smile as she kisses me. And then she steps back and does a twirl. She moves like music. And even though I am proud to have the most beautiful mama in the world, I don't let it show. How do I look? She asks me, and I almost think about what I'm going to say. Almost. And then the words are flying out of my mouth to my mama's ears. How should I know? I roll my eyes and the rest of me follows. Mind your manners, Grandmama warns, but it's too late for that. My words are charging into battle. You and Daddy are still married, and even if you don't, we still miss him. We still love him. Mama wraps her arms around me, and I am as hard as a rock. She talks softly. I know that, honey. I miss him too. I just wanted my son to tell his old mama how she looked. I pulled away and looked her dead in the eye and said, You look like you forgot. History repeating. Almost. Mama is trying to talk to me, but there are so many words swimming around in my brain that I'm sure they will start to leak out all over the floor if I let any more come in. So I walk out of the room. I walk out the front door, and I keep walking. I am walking away from all the things that are making me hurt, all the things that are making me mad. I am walking away, just like Daddy did. I am leaving all my problems behind, just like Daddy. I stop, because suddenly, I am seeing Mama's face when Daddy left. I turn back toward home and I run. I run so fast it hurts to breathe, but I can't stop. I don't stop until my arms are wrapped around Mama's middle, and my I'm sorries are lost in her lap. My tears stain her sun gold dress like a sudden rain. She lifts my head, cups my face in her hands, and says, You just changed the course of history. How'd I do that, Mama? I ask. You came back. Temp job. There was a time when the stars had to align just so to get me to be the best big brother in the world. The one who took you with him. The one who wanted to hang out with you. But now, my brother has mastered the art of getting to me. He learned from our sister, who, by the way, can get me to do anything. So when he begged for a game of hoop, even though I needed to study, I grabbed the ball and headed for the driveway. We run up and down our cement court. Dribble, dribble, stop. Dribble, dribble, shoot. Whoosh! My brother's word, and the ball going into the net at the same time. We play hard, and I let him win, just like Daddy used to let me win. I gave him a high five and put him in a headlock as we go inside. You done good, I say. My brother looks at me and smiles. You sound just like Daddy. For a minute I forget to breathe, and then I smile because I feel good carrying on the tradition in my father's absence, and I say, Thanks, little brother, but I'm just filling in. Forgetfulness. It didn't seem right, being happy while Daddy was gone. He wasn't dead, but still, I was in mourning. Yesterday, I forgot that I had nothing to be happy about. I forgot to remember that this is a bad time, a no-dad time, a sad, sad time. I don't even remember what was so funny, but I do remember. I felt like I'd betrayed something, the memory of my father, because I laughed. I laughed so hard I cried. Prodigal son. Even before my brother and sister yell out his name, the muscles in my mother's hands stop working, and the plate she is drying goes crashing to the floor. My back is to the door, but I can't turn around. I'm afraid this is a bad joke, and the laugh will be on me. Grandmama is not surprised. She knew what we all secretly hoped for. No one actually heard the door open, but we all heard it close. And I breathe a sigh of relief because I know Daddy is home to stay. Trust me, I can tell a lot by the way a door closes. Astronomy 101. All I can think about is finding Preacher. When our paths finally cross, my chest is puffed out as I begin the lesson. Preacher, I say, you know what a crescent moon looks like. You know what a quarter moon looks like. You probably even know what a waxing gibbous moon looks like. But let me tell you what a blue moon looks like. It's my dad coming home, after being gone for what seemed like forever. He can't find enough words to say how sorry he is, but he keeps on. each word rooting him to us like a tree that's planted by the water, and he shall not be moved. The end.